All right, everybody, welcome to another Bingo Club presentation. I am joined here by Fun, the one and only. Thank you for joining me,
Hello,
Fun.
hello. Yeah.
Yet another evening. What did you say? Yet another day of bingus.
Yeah, like every day, but
But now
yeah,
in, 1080p.
yeah,
Yeah, so uh, thank you for joining us. We are going to be watching a game today between the Bung Chungers and the Frenglish. Uh, Bung Chungers is TickleMeElmo and Lukas, and Frenglish is Turnip and Truoh. And this is, I believe, both of their second match, I believe, that they're playing in this tournament. Um, Truoh and Turnip might have played actually two, I'm not entirely sure, but Sean and, or TickleMeElmo and Lukas have only played one, I believe. Um, so we're incredibly curious to see how this goes, and if you would like to check with the players' fun, I think we're more than ready to see
yeah.
some bingus.
All four are ready, so let's start up the match.
Right, middle square predictions.
Gronk.
And what did I say? Valiant
I don't
Gargoyles.
know. And
Dang,
it's seven unique ashes of war with non-physical affinities.
interesting. Oh my god, this
Yeah,
is quite a square, or quite a board, rather.
yeah,
Hmm, interesting. Well, initial like right off the bat, the base game side, I am seeing Memory of Grace with 50k. Let's go and hop on over
hmm
and see what the starting classes are. But Memory of Grace 50k, um, and
The double Radon squares as well,
yeah,
or the triple Radon even with Radon and Gaius as well. And then DLC wise, we see a few different things we can like go for quickly with Dryleaf Dane, getting Skedu Altus, Queen and Bellerot also being pretty quick.
yeah,
You also have Rolana, which you could rush as well, being a castle boss for that Castle Manor fort. Garou is another quick kill square you can do.
yeah. I mean, to me, it seems like some of the earlier squares here because we've come to the point where people are definitely metagaming a lot and like choosing squares with more value. And we've seen one thing in particular really stand out, and that is these diagonal squares. And they're so incredibly valuable. So I would be surprised to see, even though we have great Omen Killer Cleaver, which is an incredible weapon here for the base game, that Mog 50k would be contested because it is a corner square. And I would be surprised to see if the DLC, unless they decide to go for a play that goes around it, like say setting up for a Rulana and getting some other stuff on the way. But Dryleaf Dane seems like just a given here as like one of your first squares, wouldn't
Yeah,
you say?
I would agree, especially with the threat of that double Radon being able to be pushed on you. It would be nice to have Dryleaf Dane in your back pocket to block that column one as well.
Yeah,
Especially if your teammate goes Memory or Grace, really like build that diagonal a bit, put some threat onto that.
yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, lately we've seen a lot of relatively, or actually really quick bingos. And that's like one of the things when you have these two, at least seemingly apparent rush squares, such as Dane and Mog 50k, is that if you somehow end up losing both of them, you're in a world of hurt because immediately you start having to maneuver and play defensively, where you have to play the other team's game rather than play like towards what you yourself want to do. So
Yeah, and of our players are both our DLC players both taking different routes here as well. Truoh running 3 path, probably just intending to set up more to see what his opponent Lukas goes for rush-wise. Meanwhile, Lukas seems to be immediately going Gravestone Skip to get that Dane as quickly as possible, most likely.
Yeah. Yeah, and in direction of where Truoh is running uh, is the Grace that would be like the closest as far as setup Graces go to do that Queeline and Ballarat.
As
Uh,
well as those Ashes of War with Savage Lion's Claw.
yeah, and also I mean it's not a half bad route also because you do put yourself closer to that Katana check, which has been historically really valuable for these DLC players.
Yeah, and something we could see Truoh go for here is that Queelan and Bellarot with those Ashes of War. Because there is Shriek of Sorrow right by Queeline. And then you can just either go and kill the other Queeline instead of Altus or pick up a different Ashes of War along the way for your third.
Shriek of Sorrow, is that occult or am I
Yes, it
okay?
is a cult. That
Yeah.
would work towards that middle square as well.
So I would assume that these base gamers are definitely going to keep having an eye on this middle square because it is something that you don't have to, obviously, you don't want to necessarily full rush it because that's at least not in the direction where Lukas is headed. So I'd be very surprised, even though middle square is incredibly important. But the Ashes of War is something that you can pick up along the way. So if you're doing some routing towards Radon, I would be surprised to see them not pick up at least two of the affinities on the way because that would be like poison and holy, for example.
Yeah, as
Um,
Lucas does die on TLEA skip.
that's very unfortunate. Yeah, does have a little bit of luck having the runes spawn up there and not in one of these wonky positions.
But does fail it again, unfortunately. Some real struggling going on there.
But not immediately contested here by Truoh, which does it's probably a
Yeah.
blessing for Lukas here.
Though in his mind he's probably not wanting to go and immediately rush Dane anymore
Yeah.
because of that death and the mishap.
I'm not entirely sure here whether or not Turnip is just a couple of seconds behind TickleMeElmo either, or if that stream is just a little bit delayed. That could also very well be the case.
Yeah.
So what is
So
Truoh running
curious to
for?
see. Right now he's going towards TLEA,
Yeah,
having just passed Black Bridge.
but square wise, I mean,
That we don't really know. He did pick up that Savage Lion's Claw on the way to Katana Shack and got Moonveil there, but we'll have to see exactly what he wants to do first.
is going to pick up this Bullier Grace though. Meanwhile, Lukas is approaching Reprimand.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? Pretty interesting too because we have a pretty rushable base game square that I didn't pay attention to, which is collect 2 painting rewards. Not necessarily one of the most valuable squares right now, but it is a relatively quick square, especially after you get Torrent.
Mm-hmm. And Elmo here just immediately rushing at that +9, grabbing the 3 1s in Storm Hill on the way to Stormvale, and then immediately porting Shifra for the fast 2s and 3s there.
Yep.
As Turnip goes Haligtree. A nice TLEA skip here from Truoh
But you
as
know what?
well.
This is really interesting because already we can see a little bit of possibly what's to come because I would assume Sean immediately or TickleMeElmo immediately skipping going for the Mog 50k here and prioritizing that Radon. And this Radon, as we mentioned earlier, is incredibly strong. And since Lukas is already going for that Dry Leaf Dame, this column 1 is gonna become very, very scary.
Yeah. Especially with the fact that Elmo here is going Ordina for his money instead of Haligtree really shows that he does want that Radon. Because
Yeah,
that Wild Strikes and Frost Freeze is really gonna melt, especially with what is going to be a +12
yeah,
Great
absolutely.
Open Killer Cleaver.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really, really quick fight. I mean, he is gonna probably be almost certainly in one shot range, but
Yeah. And another thing with this early Radon play is if your opponent hasn't marked the memory of Grace 50k, you just get that square with the Radon kill.
What happened to Turnip here? Did he decide not to mog the
As
50k?
he picked up the rune but did not pop it, and is now running through the Shifra. Meanwhile, we have Lukas in roundtable really thinking about which weapon to pick up and chooses to go with Morning Star
That's a pretty good
here.
weapon.
Yeah.
Should be possible to put like. You put Savage Lion's Claw on that?
Yes, it is a club or a hammer, which, yeah,
Yeah, and Elmo really looking to set up this Radon here.
yeah,
Um, Going for that Altus to activate the Radon Festival as quickly as he possibly can.
yeah, and does go for the grace right at Worm Face as well to really just work in that synergy.
Yep. And it looks like Turnip is just going to be a little bit behind on this whole play.
Yeah,
Not by very much, though, I must say, but I'm not sure if Turnip has even ran for the smithing ones yet.
both did at the start immediately.
Okay.
So both have those smithing ones.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I agree with Turnip here is definitely like not popping that 50k because that will give TickleMeElmo just basically a green light that he's gonna get this Radon square if he executes it correctly. Um,
Yeah, and here we see Lucas going into Dane
ooh, let's take
with
a look
some
at that fight.
frost grease on that Morning Star.
Yeah, as we previously discussed, these NPC bosses can be kind of annoying sometimes, but Lucas seems to be in full control. Oh,
Yeah,
I'd be happy that Dane did not decide to fully charge that because he'd be in a world of hurt. Does Dane have a heal or no?
no, not this one in the duel.
Yeah.
Which is weird because almost every other NPC I think
Ooh,
has a
has
heal.
to be really careful here. He's about to get the square, which I think will give at least some information towards Frenglish that they are indeed setting that line.
Yeah,
Really, really nice fight there from Lukas.
yeah.
And there's the mark,
And there it
first
goes. The
mark.
first square, 8 minutes, 22 seconds in.
Really nice. Thank you for the raid, Mr. Gray. I hope you had a wonderful stream and day. And
Yeah,
for
we
anyone
see
joining.
Turnip right now in the Celia Crystal Tunnel, grabbing some fives as Elmo is running to that Radon.
Yeah, plus 12 with freezing grease, I would say is better than plus 15 with rot grease, uh, given the timing. It's just going to be faster in this scenario for sure.
Definitely. We also see Lukas here going for a Scarab with an Ash of War, as we see Truoh working on some Kindred cookbooks, running to the one by the forge.
Piercing throw. Okay, so that's just for the DLC Ash of War.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know, what would be a really heads up play here? This would be incredibly difficult to make. Um, but you have to realize that you are almost certainly a little bit behind here because you have not done optimal lines towards Radon. I would be incredibly impressed with Turnip, and it would be so good if he just decided to upgrade his weapon and just go straight to Wormface here.
yeah. We can
It,
see Elmo porting mountaintops, needing that little bit of extra cash to get his weapon upgraded.
oh, okay. Might
And
give
I
Turnip a
believe
little bit
that's
of time.
because after popping his runes, he immediately sat down to level, and he also
Uh,
leveled his health with that, probably wasting those runes he wanted for upgrades.
yeah. Still probably going to be a little bit ahead here.
Yeah.
Lukas picking up his second Ash of War.
Yeah, Truoh about to get his second Kindred cookbook as well, I believe.
You know, I feel like there's going to be some incentive to actually go for Queeline here, considering if you finish off your DLC Ashes of War with it, you get a non-physical affinity Ash of War, and you get Queeline, and all of a sudden,
And closer to Lion
and closer to
as well.
line, and you have this row 5, which is a time investment like crazy for both the DLC and the base game actually.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what they end up going for here. Yeah, and Turnip does forego the mogging of the 50k initially here by just popping it and using it to upgrade his weapon. Meanwhile, TickleMeElmo is already on his way. Just started the festival and is going to be heading down the elevator any second now.
Truoh here running to finish his Kindred cookbooks with the one in Prospect Town, as Lukas as well is looking to finish his Ashes of War with Savage Lion's Claw.
Yeah. Going for, there's the mark, and going for the slightly less synergistic Ash of War, but just probably want to use this Ash of War with this weapon, I would assume.
Yeah.
Could opt to do the katana check here as well.
As Elmo enters this Radon fight.
Yeah, let's take a look at that, because this is not always an easy fight with this vigor, but is not allowed to summon any idiots here either to help him in this fight. Gonna be pretty much one-shot range to most attacks. Gets a really good opener here though. Has to be careful of this swing. Didn't get as many punches as he would have wanted. Misses another attack there. Oh, is somehow
Ooh.
alive with 1 HP.
There.
Is gonna have to just trust his gut that he can get this. Dies,
But
goes
he
down.
does fall.
Meanwhile, Turnip
And now
is gonna
look
be
at
entering the
this.
fight.
Turnip approaching here.
Yeah,
Now ahead in this Radon fight.
let's go to double screen here because this is gonna be a little bit of a race here, and I don't wanna
Yeah,
miss either one.
as we see Lukas hop down into Fog Rift Fort to kill this Garou. As well, really just piling on top
Yeah.
these threats if they do manage to get both this Radon Garou and that Memory of Grace with the Radon money.
You know, Turnip doesn't get as good of an opening attack here, but does have the rock grease and now is 3 levels ahead on his weapon, so I would assume that this fight might actually be able to go faster. Does get a good attack here from Radon. Has to be careful of this final one. Dodges it perfectly. Tries to get that
As
rod
Elmo
applied.
here gets a good opener. Nice dodges coming in from both.
Ooh, rod applied. Turnip gets tagged. Elmo already in the script here.
Ooh,
Just
as
decides to
Turnip goes
forego it
down.
entirely. Really nice damage here for TickleMeElmo.
Yeah, when Radon here comes down, that should be it for the fight with his scripted digging up the meteors attack.
You know, let's see if he gets it here.
Does indeed.
Yeah, just
Though
one
that
more bleed proc.
stamina.
Ooh, has to be really careful. Oh, really nice kill. Really nice
Very
kill.
close. As Lukas is still in this Garou fight. Taking it slow, but getting there.
Yeah, Turnip deciding to quit out of this Radon fight, which I think is the right choice. Has to try and contest this Wormface, which was the bane of his existence in his last game. Well, let's see if he does better in that fight now, because he's going to be slightly ahead on it by
Yeah, because
barely a
Elmo
loading
does want to get
screen.
this Memory of Grace. So it's gonna be a bit longer until Elmo is there in the fight.
Ooh, does get the mod 50k here from Elmo, but is going to be a little bit behind on the worm face.
Yeah, as we see Truoh here doing the holiday skip again to go for that Chief Blood Fiend.
That would be a good square for them. Now, I would say that if he goes for Chief Blood Fiend, say that Turnip gets this worm face, which he's about to start the fight, gets some really good RNG. Really good RNG
Yeah.
here for Turnip.
Yes,
Oh,
Garu falls at the hands of Lukas.
oh, has to be
Wormface
careful of the
here.
grab. No, it gets
Oh, does
grabbed.
get grabbed. Needs to quit out,
No, it
but
gets grabbed
here
one hit
comes
away.
Elmo also approaching in this fight.
Oh my god, Elmo's going to be a little bit ahead in this now. Ooh, does not get the same luck
Ooh.
of the RNGs. Be really careful. Survives that attack. Oh, there's so much deathlight all over the place. He knows he has to greed for this. He knows he has to greed for this. But he can't. He's gonna die to
Needs
the
to get a
deathlight.
stagger. That Death build up though. A real
Oh,
killer.
does
As
go
he
down.
dies to the Death Blight as he sees Wormface down on the floor, head exposed,
Yeah.
and just
Oh,
snatches defeat from the jaws of victory. Nice dodge on the grab by Elmo.
yeah. Has to be really careful here though. Is playing with
Nice
very little
dodges as
stamina.
well. Yeah, a very nice fight from him so far.
Oh, is one
Does
tag
take
away
a
from
hit
dying.
there.
Turnip
As
dying yet
Turnip
again.
goes down.
Let's
We
decide to
see
kill.
Lukas. Yeah, I should do it afterwards. Get some more flasks from killing those 3 guardians. Dodges another grab, very nicely done. A last charge or two for the
Yeah,
stagger,
that's
and that
it.
should
And that's Wormface.
and it is. Wormface done.
Oh my god, this game is really running away from them.
Yeah,
Now, what do you do here if you're Turnip? Because there's not a lot of incentive for Elmo here not to immediately restore this Great Rune. Because he doesn't know what Turnip's been up to, so...
there isn't really something you can do for Turnip, I'd say. As
Yeah,
that Radon just is gone.
I would assume he probably at least has to go kill Radon for some access into capital for that hug 3 fingers,
Yeah,
even though not what he wants to do right now, obviously, but is gonna have to go for it at some point.
Elmo here doing
Ooh,
Sally escape and failing. Though we see Lukas in this Ranala here. A stagger soon into a phase 3 as Truoh does Logger, being that which Turnip is running to.
you
They're
know,
likely looking here at this column 4, seeing it as their only option of victory. Truoh almost certainly immediately running to that Kui line after this Logger kill.
what's interesting here is that column 4 is much faster than column
Yeah,
1 and row 1.
because of that Midra being such a far score, but also those hug the 3 fingers.
Yeah, incredibly far square.
Needing both capital axes, meaning 2 great runes, but also to kill Morgoth and Sewer Moog. As
Yeah,
Logor goes down to Truoh, as Lukas is avoiding the blender like a champ. And there goes a Magnus from Turnip.
really nice kill. Yeah, and I believe that Truo already has this grace set up for Bloodfiend. is going to be
Yeah,
running
but
straight into it.
they'll probably needed to do Queeline before this.
And I would
We'll
imagine,
see what we'll see what Lukas chooses to do after this Relana.
yeah. Now, what
A
would you
very
go?
nice fight so far on the stagger to end it.
Question is, I mean, since you already had Chief Bloodfiend set up, not going for the Queeline is a little bit surprising to me
Yeah,
here.
did also surprise me, and here we see Lukas immediately porting free path to get that Queeline.
Yeah, and that Queeline is going to be an immediate block here for sure
Mm-hmm.
because Truoh is not going to be able to catch up. I'm very surprised that he didn't go for the Queeline first here for Truoh.
Might be that just experience coming into play,
Could be,
because he is
yeah.
a very new player, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong here because, like,
Yeah,
Lukas just as easily, I mean, with that Rilana being marked right after, Truoh didn't really know what was set up here.
yeah. As Truoh dies to Chief Bloodfiend, though we do see Lukas porting to Teolia here actually, looking to fully split both squares, like to make sure he gets one of them.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, if you want to talk about experience, this is 100% the right play here from Lukas because,
Yeah,
your only real lose condition here is this column 4, and losing it would be truly disastrous. So splitting on this is incredibly important. So I'm really impressed
yeah.
by this decision making here from Lukas, actually.
We can see Turnip already working on that tree spirits.
Yep.
Them really looking at this column 4 as their only way out of this disaster of
Yeah.
snipes.
Yeah, it's incredibly unfortunate. I mean, that's one of the things that we immediately identified, as well did the players, how strong this column 1 was, and just losing out on everything on it was just like so detrimental.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, it all comes down to just like getting hit that one time on the worm face because Turnip was just about to get that block with like
yeah.
one hit away from that worm face, and just devastating that he didn't quite get it.
And we can see Lukas here also splitting very effectively. You get one grace towards Queeline, go towards Chief Bloodfiend, get one grace, go towards Queeline, get one more grace, go
Yep.
towards Chief Bloodfiend, get one more grace, and just keep doing that until either you choose to commit to a square and get it, or see them mark one of them and go for the other. Meanwhile, Elmo here as well, being fully just aware of this column 4, working on tree spirits as well.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, they can take the luxury of actually getting sniped on a couple of these squares because they are already 5 squares ahead. And there we see the Chief
Yeah,
Bloodfiend mark. Really nice fight there for Truoh being able to finish that out. And Lukas is already here in Bellerod doing the run, so he's going to be ahead of Truoh.
yeah. Truoh porting only to 3 path cross. Quite a ways away. Very nice tree ferret fight here from Elmo in the meanwhile.
Ooh.
As Turnip is into Stormvale and this market. Lukas now on this Queeline. Nice R1s here. Savage Lion's Club missing as Queeline does his spear attack.
Yeah, always got to be a little bit careful here with Timu Mesmer.
Yeah, who knows what could happen, right?
I mean, would imagine he's,
Especially with the nerves Lukas here could be showing, because this column 4 is a definite threat.
yeah. And there's Queline's heal, but is already down to half health. Meanwhile, Truoh is making his way there, but is more than 1.5 minutes behind here on this square, I would say.
Yeah, this Savage Lion's Claw just making this fight pretty trivial.
Yeah.
Though
Ooh,
there
has to be
is
really careful.
always space for mistakes to happen. So
Nice
Queen here, just
punish.
one more hit needed, and there it goes.
There's the block. Really well played there from Lukas.
Queen there marked, and now only needing the top left, bottom right diagonal, and the column or the row 2 to force it into a majority.
Yeah. And row 2 is already going to be basically blocked here with this Restore Radon's Great Room because TickleMeElmo decided to just save the final part of that square. And because he just grabbed the Grace and then poured it away, which I think, in a sense, is probably the right play because if he gets Turnip to go all the way now when they have this square lead to do that Radon's Great Rune, I don't even think Sean considers it that much of a loss. It does fall down there, though.
Yeah, and Turnip here probably pretty shaken,
Yeah.
pretty shook, dying to this tree spirit.
Yeah, that's incredibly unfortunate. A
As we
very
have Lukas running back section, and this blue
ooh,
team of Frenglish in the DLC side doing tree spirits.
yeah. I don't think this is. I guess this is still a little bit the play, but I don't know what they're really scared of
Yeah,
because that line is going to be double bingo. So I'm not entirely sure why this isn't
yeah.
prioritized right now. Because at
Their
this,
mentals,
yeah,
their mentals are definitely as shaken from
yeah,
this.
yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I
Yeah, we
think,
saw Elmo here also die on the Spirit Spring skip down to this painting reward, having to do it all again.
yeah. I mean, wouldn't you say like if you're here and you're looking for a win condition, I would say one win condition that would be very difficult to see when you're in the game here. But if you're looking at this diagonal and you would go for something like Unique Ashes of War into Everjails into Moog as your last Great Rune.
Yeah, that diagonal is, in my opinion, definitely their second way out. Because you can do Moog for one great rune for that capital access.
Yeah.
Everjails obviously is a bit of a time sink. There isn't really much you can do with that.
Nope.
But at the end of the day, just trying to prep this diagonal and fully commit to it is better than, at least in my opinion, whatever they are thinking of doing right now, working on those three spirits.
Yeah. Turnip has to be extra careful here not to get hit. One hit away. It does get the Tree Spirit down. Grudge match with that Tree Spirit. Meanwhile, Tickle Me Elmo is going to be finishing out on this two painting rewards, creating yet another threat here.
As
Um,
we have Lukas running into this back section for that Gaia's access for those three spirits,
yeah,
and then Shadowkeep to get access to that Abyssal Woods through Jory with Maddinghand and Midra both in there.
yeah, yeah. This
Although
is
if he did grab Emergrace, he does also get access to that Carrion Sovereignty Ash of War, which is magic attuned. Which could work for that middle square.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is just one of those events. We both are huge Bingus enjoyers, and as much as like to see one team really perform well here in Bung Chungers, executing correctly and getting those squares and getting those blocks. It is a little bit unfortunate because we know that Turnip and Truoh have so much more to give, and it's just like one of those boards that they could just run away with, and now they could just choose and pick any of the quick squares they want because all of the pressure is on Truoh and Turnip to block these squares as well.
Yeah, the board here being very, what do you say, snowbally,
Yeah,
as Turnip grabs that painting in Stormvale to see those painting words immediately be marked afterwards.
yeah, it's really tough. He's probably here for the final tree spirit and possibly a castle boss, and
Yeah,
for that
as we
great
see
rune.
Lukas here get this Ashawar I was talking about in Carrion Sovereignty.
Oh, who was that?
Lukas,
Oh, and that's the magic one, right?
yeah, and we can also see Elmo here going into Kaled to grab magic, poison, occult, and possibly fire, though that scarab with Flame of the Red Mines is pretty awful to pick up.
I don't think he's grabbing the occult, considering that Lucas already has the occult, I believe.
That is true, actually, yeah.
But I
Here we
would
see
imagine
Shilling.
going up here for the
Yeah, see
blood
both.
blade.
Yep. Lukas likely going to do that second queue line for fire as well.
Yeah, yeah. And here's one
As
of
we
the
see him,
yeah,
as we see Lukas adding Great Omen Killer Cleaver, which he likely got in that Great Axe check down in
yeah.
Bonnie Village.
And that's just something that also, when you're this far ahead, you can take the luxury of swapping a weapon because all of a sudden you can
Yeah,
snowball even
take
harder.
take the luxury to set yourself up further to make sure you like don't die or get all the synergy along the way because you don't have to full send this one square to get a block
Yeah,
on something.
yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
Elmo here getting Bloodblade
yeah. So that
and
should
aggroing
be
Dragonflies.
that
5.
should be five. Yeah. So probably only looking for that frost or potentially that lightning.
Yeah. Ports Liurnia. Maybe to kill the Knight's Cavalry for Frost.
Or
One could
going all the
guess
way
as
up.
Lucas.
I think he's going actually all the way up to get the Hoarfrost Stomp for the Manor boss. And also get the Hoarfrost Stomp potentially. That wouldn't surprise
That
me.
could be a thing. Yeah. Though I would personally want to do Noble for my Manor boss because it puts you closer to those smithing sixes, which are so rare in this format. But also because those are two god bosses in there with Noble and Godric or Rykard.
Yeah, that is true. That is a very long square though, and I would assume that they might be. I mean, for this
Yeah,
board specifically, I don't think you really need those sixes. Only for Moog, and if you go Moog, you can pick up the sixes when you're there.
that
So
is true. Yeah,
I don't know.
we
I
see
think
him
either could be
indeed
argued.
going for that first stomp with porting or running towards the EG warp.
The castle boss for Turnip here too, but
Yeah.
uh, TickleMeElmo
Oh,
and Lukas
Lucas.
already have a castle, and this might be a manor. And Lukas also has a fort with Garu, if I'm not mistaken.
That i- that is indeed true. Needing only this manor boss, probably trying to get those two squares.
So I mean, this is, I have to say, I know I've been glazing Bung Chungers a lot, but this square choice is excellent because both of the squares that they're trying to synergize now both block the final two bingo lines available here for Frenglish.
Yeah, which is very nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna be curious to see what their final Ash of War is here, though, if it is gonna be that lightning one in Altus.
It's gonna be this cold because Lucas has 3, and Elmo will get his 4th with this Horfrost stomp.
Oh, did Lucas pick up fire, or is he about to?
Yeah, he killed Queeline for that
Oh,
flames crash or
oh, so that fire, occult, and magic for Lucas.
magic. Yeah. Meanwhile, Elmo has that cold with this here holy poison and bleed.
Yeah. Yeah, this is there's not a lot of rays of hope here, unfortunately, for Frenglish, because it just looks like Bung Chungers have such a huge lead, and there's the mark on the center
Yeah.
square. Oh, and instead of blocking row 2 here with Manor, he just goes right up and restores the Radon's Great Rune,
Yeah, a bit worried that Turnip now would have done Radon by this point in time.
which is where Turnip is actually headed right now. This is just going to
Yeah,
be a final dagger in the chest for Turnip, even though he is doing this for the Great Rune as well.
Bung Chungers here wanting to finish on this Restore Radon's Great Rune, Castle Manor and Fort Boss, and then this Radon and Gaius
Yeah,
being the 3 squares they want here to end it.
yeah. And so for anyone watching here, I think it's worth mentioning that if you didn't know, that the only way that you can win by majority is obviously with 13 squares, but 13 squares alone does not matter unless you have all of your opponent's bingos blocked. So that is why they were prioritizing blocking that top left, bottom right diagonal, and as well as the Restore Radon's Great Rune in that row too. There's that Radon's Great Rune block, blocking that final bingo line possible for Frenglish.
As we see Truoh here working 3 spirits in Church District.
Ooh, it's
This is gonna be their third 3 spirit, I believe.
Truoh does
Both
get,
having 1 each, as he does get grabbed here and does fall to it. As we see Elmo here down in Carrier Manor and Lukas on these elevators down to Gaius.
yeah. And both of
Both
these,
squares
yeah,
not at all being contested.
yeah. And this is going to be their final with the Manor Boss, and obviously this Commander guy is going to be the mark from Lukas as well.
Very nice Redon from Turnip here, unfortunately running out of stamina for those wild strikes to miss that phase 2 skip. As Redon does their fall.
Yep. And Lukas now in the Gaius fight, and I mean, I think we might as well just hop over to Lukas, because I think this is going to be one of the most final pivotal squares here for the team Bung
Yeah.
Chungers. And this should be a fight that he's incredibly comfortable with. This is the one that the DLC players generally choose to do hitless. So I would be hard pressed to see Lukas doing anything funky here that would result in him not getting the square. And Truoh is, as we can see here, nowhere close to Gaius in order to contest the square, well as Turnip continuing to go for those final tree spirits here.
Phase 2 now on Gaius for Lukas.
Does seem to be hitless so far.
Yeah. Vixus and his casual, always trying to curse attitude.
You know, I'm trying to do my best. I'm trying to be on Frenglish's side here to keep this hitless away at
Yeah.
least.
But we can see both players in their final fights for the squares.
Yep,
Both funnily with the same weapon. There goes that Redon Gaius.
yep. Now it's all up to
And
this Loretta in the top
here
left.
does Loretta fall. There goes 3 spirits for Turnip.
Yeah, and
But
that that should signal, given that I believe it was Turnip's mark, that should
Yep.
signal that this is gonna be all she wrote for Frenglish here, and it is gonna be a win from Bung Chungers. Really,
They won.
really well played.
Yeah, there goes that 13.
Wow. You know, this
A 40-minute majority game.
yeah.
Pretty quick.
I mean, the amount of pace that they were able to just put on put on here and just essentially getting any and every square that they wanted ended up just being so incredibly difficult for Frenglish to contest with here. And I mean, getting that Radon snipe that early and then immediately being fortunate enough where TickleMeElmo actually does die on his first attempt on Wormface and not being able to close out on that Wormface ended up really snowballing them down a really dark path here in this game. So
Yeah, and then the idea to go for the column 4 was really nice, but just the sequencing for Truoh being a bit out of sync.
yeah, I mean it could have been potentially possible, but Lukas was doing
Yeah.
a really good job splitting, and I think Chief Bloodfiend would have at least
Yeah,
been a
but
race. It would have been a fighting chance.
yeah, but that too also maybe pulling the trigger a bit too early on that Magnus logo to really show that they kind of wanted that column 4 instead of trying to hold it for a bit longer and then really just blitz out all the squares at once.
Yeah, let's see if the players are
would have
ready
been
and see if we can throw them in here. Because I like to get the brawl going right away and see if everyone if everyone is ready so we can hear their thoughts. I'm just gonna drag them in. Was that an okay? Because I can't see.
Yes, it was an okay.
I'll throw them in here. And there is everyone.
Hello.
GG's, gamer.
GG's.
GG's.
It was
Oh,
yeah. What did you start off with? Fucking Lukas with weapons.
Monisa.
Okay,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
So you just didn't do katana check. You just went straight round table.
Yeah, went straight round table and I did katana, I think, after.
Yeah,
Green
okay,
Day.
fair. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I did Ash Sword, yeah. It was Moonveil. There was double Moonveil.
Yeah.
It was like no
I
time.
died on Radon and then you fucking marked it before, like as I entered the fight again. I'm
So-
like, oh, I wouldn't have gotten it anyways. Fuck me.
so maybe I could
What's up,
just
big
maybe I could just start this off here and ask the Bung Chungers initially. GG's, by the way.
Thank you.
What was your initial game plan here? I mean, obviously, we could see from the viewpoint of the casters and the viewers that it did seem like Radon was an incredibly strong play here, given that he was connected to at least three squares, and this column 1 being incredibly important. But what were your thoughts seeing this board? What were your initial ideas?
For him to go Radon, for me to go Dane, because it gives me Scatter Altus access and it builds the diagonal and column 1 and row 5. It's just a corner square, so we were just looking at like bottom left, like all the squares down there.
Yeah.
At the start, at least.
Not to mention too, like Radon, if 50k wasn't taken at that point, just from the Halleck Tree money, that's 50k right there. So you just dump all that money. So that's technically like 4 squares in one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, ended up being a really strong play. Frenglish, what was your initial read on this board? What was your square choice that you were going for initially, and how did the game develop for you guys?
The
So,
exact same ones as fucking Bung Chungers.
Initially, it was gonna be Dane for me, Radon for him, and then he debated to go the 50k, but he wanted the money for Radon, so he decided to just forfeit the square in the sense. And then he died and Radon got marked, so we had to pivot off. And then while we were going, I was going on my way to Garu, and I got the grace, and I told Turnip, I was like, I'm just gonna put this out there. What about column 4? And because everything in column 4 was like relatively fast, because I was just gonna the cookbooks I got, and Magnus and Loger took like 2 seconds, and I was just gonna go to Queeline after that.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
you know,
I figured that he would go Bloodfiend, and that's kind of what lost us the game. I would say, because
the thing is, yeah, I can chime in here. I mean, I think the thing is that it was a little bit confusing for us here, but I mean, I think this is a little bit the experience playing in, because we could see Lukas not rushing either one of those squares, but immediately just splitting progress between them because he saw how important it was, I guess.
Mhm.
And yeah, from our point of view, it looked. I mean, we get the bird's eye view, so we get the hindsight 2020, obviously, which is really important to say. But since you already had the blood fiend, the grace, we were a little bit surprised to see that you ported for that instead of the Queeline, because you did have the same starting grace for Queeline.
Oh, you had Bloodfiend, like the grace prepped and everything?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
had that great
did.
prep when you were like splitting.
Okay.
The
Huh.
main reason, like I just said, is I figured Lukas would go for Bloodfiend. Mostly the fact that Lukas really likes killing. He likes fighting bosses. And I just assumed that, like, yes, I knew Queeline for unique non-physical affinities was the also tree spirits, because that was what me and Turnip were talking about, because I was on my way to Ballarat, or I was like in Ballarat when you marked it.
Yeah.
And I was just gonna do Queeline into the tree spirit there,
There's a tree
Bloodfiend
spirit.
into my last tree spirit,
Mhm.
Yeah, nice synergies.
and
I'm
that
just
was
very happy.
gonna be the plan.
Yeah, so Lukas was
Yeah,
just
I kinda
barely
pushed,
barely a minute and a half ahead on that Queeline play from splitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have gone Bloodfiend too, I think, but I kind of pushed him to just split instead.
A really good choice. Really good choice.
Yeah, we just really needed a block on there. That's why, because I ended up actually killing a tree spirit, but then he said he was like at Queeline, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna finish killing this one and then move on to something else.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this seems to be to have just been really one of those very much runaway boards, and I mean, we had some
Yeah.
unfortunate deaths back and forth on Wormface from both of you.
Oh my god, worm face.
I didn't die on Wormface.
Oh no, you were slightly okay. Then you were slightly delayed because of the
it was a
50K.
long Wormface. Yeah,
No,
it was
yeah,
a
you
long
were slightly
Wormface.
delayed on the
Control
50K because Turnip ended up being ahead on it and had an incredibly painful death. Unfortunately, one hit away on
He just
Wormface.
Oh
one hit
no.
away. The second time he just
man.
instantly blighted. Like
Yeah.
legit, I hit him once and he just insta blighted me. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's great.
Like, okay, cool. Just
Damn.
did
At the
like the
start of
death
the
mist or whatever. I'm like, okay.
Start
Yeah.
of the match, I died on TLEA once and then messed it up again.
My
Yeah, I
God.
was giving you as much crap I could as possible for that, Lukas.
Yeah, I know. Fun. Of course.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that was just like the experience on it to split progress.
It was a read too. I mean, you can. It could have just been. The thing is, you could have been 100% right too, and we could have been like, "Oh my God, Truoh is a genius." So, take our point of view here with a grain of salt, because we also get the the benefit of seeing literally everyone's point of view too. So, I mean, it's not entirely fair, the judgment on our side, and had Elmo not decided to tell Lukas to split between them, it just as easily could have been your guys' line, because you were definitely
sure.
ahead on the tree
Yeah.
spirits for sure.
Though, in
And,
my opinion, having seen Lucas's 3 DLC Ashes of War, and then having Free Path, knowing he most likely also has that square, and not trying to progress towards Queeline at least a little bit before doing that Chief Blood Fiend,
Mm,
because you never know how bad of a Queeline you're gonna have. So you can always just have a much longer fight, especially if you are gonna like race from the same spot, though you will have movers
Yeah.
advantage having gotten the square.
Yep. What was your
Yeah.
weapon, True?
Morningstar.
Oh, did you ever do Bonnie Village like extract?
No, I told Turnip. I was like, should
Oh
I
my
even
God.
bother checking? Should I even bother checking
no, is it
extract?
Cleaver?
It might be great Ohm Killer Cleaver, you know.
Oh my fucking god.
It ended up not being that important because Lukas, I
Yeah,
think you
it's-
only killed Gaius with it.
Yeah, I only kill guys with it, but still, it's
So-
Ohm Killer Cleaver. Yeah.
But-
Yeah, you know,
That's what
I
we had base game. You went with that, right, Tron? Or did you go
Yeah,
claws?
absolutely.
Yeah. Because I can't see a world where you go claws just for like you just pick up quick money and just
Yeah, we saw a
really
little bit of an
spend your
interesting
Rodon.
split in routing there between Elmo and Turnip, because Elmo ended up going for that Ordina money, completely
Slightly
foregoing the
faster.
50k and just getting the freeze grease
Yep.
and going plus 12 for the Radon.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
just
I
a
kind
little
of
bit more
messed up with the
decisive on that.
cash though, because I
Yeah, we could see
spent
that.
all of the. I spent all of it on vigor after instead of actually leveling my weapon, so I
Oh
had
my
to go
God.
do the mountaintops after.
It did end up saving your fight
Yeah.
though, because you would have died on that one attempt that you got double
Oh, yeah.
cleaved. So it was a blessing in disguise, kind of.
Yeah, I should have.
Something I also want to say with Elmo is when going for the free smithing ones in Stormhill, he picked them up and just immediately ported, not even caring to grab the Stormhill Shaka Grace,
Yeah.
which I thought was pretty
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, really, I mean, just acknowledging how quick and like important that Radon was, because it ended up being incredibly pivotal in this game, obviously.
Just small
Yeah.
things that he did faster.
Yeah. Any other closing thoughts here? Because I think we can continue the post stream as well, but
No, I think I'm good.
Fuck worm face.
fuck Wormface. Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah, that guy's smelly.
then I will end the stream there. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Frenglish and Bung Chungers, for playing and allowing us to cast this. Thank you so much, Fun, for joining me with the casting, and thank you to all the viewers for joining us and watching. And we will be back almost certainly, I believe, tomorrow, and almost certainly as well on Sunday with a couple of more games. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, until then. Have a good one. Take care.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.